Can you see this red candle that I'm pointing out here? This is the COVID 2020 dump when Bitcoin dumped 40% in one day and it felt like the whole crypto market was over. In the past 24 hours, it's the first time since then that I've really felt the same kind of atmosphere, except for maybe the FTX collapse as well. Every group chat I'm in had everyone panicking, running for the doors. But if you followed our last few videos, you would have noted that we were bearish after the RSI broke down on the 50 level. Now, we said yesterday that this area between around 48 and 51, 52ish would be if Iran-Israel escalated. Well, we didn't account for the Japan unwind trade escalating as much as it did, but you can see that price reached into the green area we had marked out and had a pretty strong bounce since then, from around 49k back to the resistance area here now of about 54k. So that's about a 10% bounce already, which on Bitcoin is quite a lot. I pointed out this green line here. What I want Bitcoin to do now would be to get above the green line of support. We call that a reclaim, and that would keep the bullish structure intact, or actually you would restart a bullish structure, and then we would want it to do stuff like this to go back to the next level of resistance. Now, we had such a big move that I'm not expecting this to happen straight away. In my experience, you get maybe like a test up and you just chop around for a while. It's going to take some time to recover this, maybe another dip into around 52 to cause a double bottom, and then we get a reclaim. The RSI has reached another red oversold level and it dipped into a high time frame support. If you're looking for a trade, you can either be safer and wait for the reclaim I mentioned, or I think this is not a bad area to spot buy, especially if it dips down again to around this 52 area. The only thing is we're not sure how deep this Japan unwind trade is going to go. I want to show you the VIX. If you don't know what the VIX is, it measures the volatility of the S&P 500. So today the VIX hit around 62, and the only time it's ever done that recently are the 2008 financial crisis and COVID 2020. This is a weekly chart of the S&P, and this is COVID 2020 here, and you can see what happened afterwards straight up. And this is the financial crisis of 2008. I checked, the VIX spike was around here, so we did go lower. So this is why, even though we had the third highest VIX level for years, I'm cautious over the next weeks, because this kind of damage is not fixed in one day. It's going to take a few weeks. Zooming out on a 3-day chart here, just in case we get the worst case scenario for Bitcoin now, which would be further acceleration over the next few weeks and months. We can see the 3-day RSI is at 37, decently close to being oversold. I think if it were to get to oversold level, Bitcoin would go into this other region of high time frame support, which is around 40k and let's say 47, between 40 and 47. That would be a good area for spot for me, because if we get that low, you would get a 3-day RSI for the first time since June 2022. And if you're talking about spot buys, and by spot I mean you just buy and hold and then leave it for a long time, this is a pretty decent indicator. It might not be the exact bottom, but it's very hard to catch exact bottoms. You just want to get a good price and then ride when the trend reverses. So you can see here, you would have bought at 28k, you would have bought at 20k. If you average them, so let's say you would have bought a little bit on the first red area of RSI, and then you add more when it's at 20k, your average is like 24k, and you would have been in profit when BlackRock announced the ETF, because I remember that was around 25k, and you would have done well in the long run, which is all that matters in trading and investing. The time you spend in the market is more important than time in the market. By that I mean, the longer you have money in the market, the more opportunity it has to compound and make profit on it, instead of trying to time the bottoms all the time. That's why even today I've bought some coins and I'm prepared for them to go lower, but I know from my trading history and strategies that they should make profit in the long run. Even going to a weekly chart, a slightly concerning thing for me is that the weekly chart has broken below the 50, but you can see here, it never went lower than 45. So we'd hope we would get a reclaim and continue now to keep the RSI above 50 and to keep a bullish trend intact. But if we don't, it's at 44 now, a weekly push down into this area marked out like 40Ks. That would probably reset all the RSIs. And by reset, I mean it would make it red on the weekly, on the 3-day. A red RSI for me in Bitcoin is like an automatic buy signal, because June 2022, spot buy here, 20k, you would have made money over time. And December 18, the worst and most boring bear market I can remember. If anyone was around then, you would know what I mean. But you can see it hit red and that was the bottom again. You can go further back and search for Bitcoin on the Bitstamp chart to see the full history of Bitcoin, and you can see he only had one other touch, which is a long time ago, maybe $500, and you can see that was a pretty good entry as well. If we were to get some kind of major economic collapse, a red touch of RSI is like an automatic, you just go for it, because it's a pretty good signal, especially on higher time frames. Let's look at channel favorite Mr Miggles, and holy you know what I mean, what a ride it's been with this coin so far. So we finally had the 4-hour RSI reach oversold region. A note to myself, if I just would have had patience for that to hit, I could have just bought from 1600 at the beginning, but that's a lesson learned. You're always learning stuff in trading, and this lesson was patience. So we had it hit here 1600, dipped a bit lower to 1300, and we had a very strong reaction since then. Like we said in yesterday's video, we want the RSI to break above 50, because for me that signals a bullish trend, and we want the price to go into and then above the green area, something like this. Let's say something like up to there, back down, and then start pushing. Once that break happens, that price break will come with it, and for me that signals the new uptrend. So once again, if you want to be safe, you wait for the reclaim and then you buy when there's strength. If you're more degenerate like me, you buy when it's dipping. So I added some more around 17 earlier today. I'm now a top 50 holder. I have a lot of conviction in this coin, and I've been speaking with members of the team and people helping the team. Everything they're doing behind the background is good. They're building a lot of connections with key base people, and you can see out of the major base coins today, Miggles has had the strongest bounce so far, 30%, Brett 16%. Toshi's still down on the day. Still fully expecting Miggles to overtake Toshi as the main cat coin on base. It's around a 2x away now, and I'm also still expecting Miggles over time to hit at least 300 million market cap, which would be Toshi's all-time high, because the narrative around Miggles for me is way stronger than it ever was with Toshi, just because of the direct Coinbase link that Miggles has. So my bags are loaded, and now we just wait for momentum to change. If you zoom into 1 hour chart, there's some hope that the reversal has started, but I would prefer to see on the 4 hour chart. So we had a high here, the Miggles price broke above it, pushed down to retest into the area, and now it looks like we're pushing away. Hopefully we push away further, and like I said, get into and above the purple zone to confirm the new trend. But if you don't follow me on Twitter already, make sure you do. I'm going to be writing a thread on base chain and why I'm bullish on base chain for the foreseeable future, and why I think this will flow into coins such as Miggles. But hopefully the worst is in. 87% correction. Now usually meme coins get 60-70, but because of the overall market conditions, it got pushed down so much. But like I always say, it's good to zoom out. Let's go to a weekly chart. This is the 4th week that Miggles has been a coin, and I'm fully expecting it over time to do, I don't know, something like this, and just eventually go up. And then this time period now will be a blip on the chart over time. A coin we spoke about in previous videos is Neiro, the Ethereum version. These are some levels I mapped out before, and you can see that we reached 200 million market cap and dumped to the area I mapped at around 100, and it's been very strong since then. Even with all the market dumping, it looks like we had a double bottom here, push down there, a bounce, push down again, and then it's bouncing away. And Neiro has what I want to see with Miggles, in that gone back above the 50 level on the RSI, which could be the start of a new uptrend coming for Neiro. This is one of the strongest narratives in meme coins, but we just hope that this continues and that this is not forming some kind of double top. But when I look on the 12 hour, it looks incredibly strong, and I would suspect if we get a real market bounce where Bitcoin reclaims 55 or 56k, then Neiro would make a new all-time high pretty fast. Another coin we looked at, Smoking Chicken Fish, dumped through the area of, well, was support and resistance, and now it looks like it's been tested as resistance again. Neiro pushed above the 50 and looked like it was pushing on, whereas with SCF I'm not so sure. If you want to play SCF because of its cult-like qualities, which I've mentioned in previous videos, then you want to wait. I think it would be better for this one to wait for the move like that, for the actual breakout of the resistance, just to be safer due to the uncertainty in the market. And because it's, even though there's a big cult around it, I would say the Neiro narrative is stronger because of its relation to Dogecoin. So that's going to be it for this video. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we're waiting for Bitcoin to reclaim 55,800 roughly. That would signal that we're back into a bullish trend, and if you want to be safer, these are the kind of setups you want to wait for before you enter back into the market. I still think there's going to be a lot of volatility ahead this week and the next few weeks, so I'll try to do as many videos as possible. If you've liked this video, please subscribe and leave me a like, and I'll see you on the next one.
Mm-hmm.